there is someone who's being tested. His name's Kevin McCarthy. He's probably going to be speaker again. Yeah, I said it, because here's the thing. And if there's any moment where I'm more happy that Congress is absolutely rudderless, it's right now, because you can guarantee that if Republicans were currently like running a bunch of shit throughout, the House of Reps, when it comes to Israel-Palestine, they'd be running in the wrong direction. And this would be all. They'd be like, we need to send attack dogs and, send Commander Biden out there. like whatever the fuck, they'd be freaking out. And so it's good. Right now, there is a detente. We've got, I guess the Israel-Palestine, no, really not the Israel-Palestine of Congress, but Steve Scalise on one side and Jim Jordan on the other side, just vying for Republicans to vote for them for House Speaker. It probably won't be Trump. It probably will be one of them unless something else happens. Here's what the problem. Moderate Republicans, some of whom are in swing districts that went to Biden in 2020, remain skeptical that Speaker Scalise or Jordan would represent their interests, given that both are incredibly conservative. While both candidates are trying to assuage their concerns, moderates are now openly calling for reinstating McCarthy as Speaker. This was yesterday, guys. This is truly the atrocity. Kevin McCarthy says he's willing to return as House Speaker, even though not so long ago. Here's literally what he said. Guys, this was a week ago, Ray.
Unfortunately, 4% of our conference can join all the Democrats and dictate who can be the Republican Speaker in this House. I don't think that rule is good for the institution, but apparently I'm the only one. I believe I can continue to fight, maybe in a different manner. I will not run for Speaker again. I'll have the conference pick somebody else.
I will not run for Speaker. I'll have the conference pick someone else. And I love how he starts that part or clip where he's like, it's just such a shame that only 4% can vote me out. And it's like, you did that. You set that up. That's your fault.
I love that speech he gave because it starts with him saying, I had to walk uphill both ways to school with no shoes in the snow in Bakersfield, California, where I had to work from nothing to get where I am today.
Snow in Bakersfield.
But I think it's fascinating because and I want to pat myself on the back here for a second. What I've been saying is the Republicans are screwing themselves when it comes to the upcoming election. Obviously, the House, it's always an election year. Everyone's always up for re-election every 2 years. So they have this issue, right? First of all, a lot of state Supreme Courts have shot down the gerrymandered maps that they had to their benefit during the midterms. So they're going to lose some of those newly created red districts. These courts have, and the state's legislators now have to re-enfranchise a lot of Black voters who were disenfranchised through those gerrymandered maps. So that's an issue they have to face. They have to face, as that was talking about, the concerns of Republicans in districts that went for Biden, who are, they're in swing states, they're in swing districts. It's a fragile situation. And when you have even Kevin McCarthy, who was trying to play to both the R plus 75 Marjorie Taylor Greene type districts, while also having to keep in mind that these people are going to be facing tough re-election campaigns. He wasn't very good at striking that balance. But Steve Scalise, who I think has been sort of portrayed as the more moderate candidate in this, which is absurd. I mean, he's literally been described as David Duke without the baggage. Okay. There's no world of difference between his politics and Jim Jordan's politics. The only difference is that Steve Scalise has been part of the establishment for a longer amount of time than Jim Jordan. And he's a little bit more careful in his rhetoric, just as hateful, just as bigoted. So it is definitely dangerous for those Republicans. And I think it's going to be super funny when it is Kevin McCarthy again. But I will say, I love in that clip,
and it's going to take like 18 rounds to get him there, too. It's going to be like a whole week.
He blames the Democrats who he never asked to support him in that vote for the reason why you didn't even try to broker a deal with them. You didn't go to the table. You didn't offer any concessions. You just expected that they were going to vote to keep you as speaker. Why would they?
Absolutely. No, and exactly. You're like, well, because they voted to, save the government, stop the government from shutting down. So they're going to bail me out here. No, you idiot. So here's what's happening next. They're going to gather. This was, I guess, last night in a closed meeting to discuss where the conference goes after McCarthy's ouster as Speaker. A candidate forum is scheduled Tuesday, followed by voting among House Republicans Wednesday. It's unclear when the full House might vote on a new Speaker. And they're kind of, again, they're the same guy. Gates said there's not ideological difference between the two of them, which is so funny because you're like, what's going to satisfy Gates? Like, how many IOUs, like, I will not investigate any of your Venmo transactions.
Right.
Like, how many does he want to extract from these people? But it's like, no one seems excited about anyone. They're all just personal branding at each other. This is like when we, the left, are kind of in our worst moments. Like, that's what it's like.
It is nice to be able to say, oh, look, it's not us for once. It's these girlies are fighting and I'm here for it.
It's these girlies with way too much power.
Right. Especially Matt Gaetz. I think there was a little bit of a misconception going into this. I think some people maybe less involved in politics. My mom, I think, thought that this is how it worked, that Matt Gaetz was going to become Speaker of the House because he was the one pushing for this. There isn't a snowball's chance in hell that man could ever. He has the ability to rally these 8 other people behind him. He can't get the votes necessary to be Speaker of the House.
I love that idea that it's like all you have to do is just like issue the motion to vacate, and then that person gets to like hold the gavel for a little bit.
Just every House vote would just be a motion to vacate, so everyone would get a chance to do it.
Yeah, everyone gets to hold the gavel. You can only speak if you're holding it. Just child's play bullshit. And I think, to the final point about like the moderates and those Republicans, how are you going to make your case that you should be reelected when your party is like fucking around like this? It makes it look real bad. I mean, the only thing they can say is like, hey, we stalled the government. It's Biden's government. I don't know. Does that work?
Right. Especially when they're facing, a potential government shutdown if they can't get their shit together, where
that's what they want.
Plenty of people who vote for them are not going to be getting paychecks. They're going to be asked to go into work and they're not going to be getting paid. And it's not going to play as well as they think it will, because you can't argue. You're the party in control of this now, essentially. You don't have this, you have the ability to pass a budget and you're refusing to do it. Like, those people who are being asked to go into work as volunteers because they have essential jobs, that's not going to play well with them.
What's going on, Frantifa? If you haven't already, subscribe to this channel right now. Hit that button. And also, you can become a patron and support the show every single week. Get access to bonus episodes and exclusive merchandise. Patreon.com/Bitchuation Room. Do it.